we know what's going to be there. And the crazy thing is, we should be excited, but
we can't because it's on Xbox.
I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah, you can most definitely speak for yourself because you know what I find funny? Didn't you do a review on South of Midnight and said you liked it? You had Indiana Jones, Avowed. You got Doom Dark Ages in May, and you out here complaining, Smooth? What are you talking about, bro? It's like PlayStation fanboys have conditioned this man to not like Xbox, even though everything's going good for them. Like, what is wrong with you? This is the definition of a pony bot. How are you going to sit there and act like what's going on Xbox would be any better if you played these games on another platform besides PC? Because you're not getting these same games on PlayStation 5 right away. You're still waiting for these same games, Smooth. So what are you doing, bro? It seems like you want to be angry over nothing. What happened to the days when Smooth, 9 to 10 years ago in this community, used to look so happy? Halo, Gears, and Forza. Ninja Thought I Told You. Where was that same energy, man? Now this dude's out here dropping depressing love songs, bro. Out here putting 2 fingers in a Vaseline bottle, licking it before he even gets a chance to go to work. Like, bro, what is going on, man? He's like the Stephen Marbury of the gaming community. Forget Nate Robinson, man. He's even more pathetic than that. But I can't even say that because Stephen Marbury is at least somewhat of a champion in China. So you might be right in regards to those speculating that this is the Nate Robinson of the gaming community, man. He got laid out by Jake Paul, and he don't want to show his face no more, man. This is crazy.
I am not excited. I say this because of course,
And also, too, Outer Worlds 2. I thought you liked these games, Smooth. You like more of these Xbox games than I do. And even I can sit there and tell you that Xbox got the heat and they got the games, especially for the modern audience. You know this, man. Stop the cap.
There's going to be some awesome games there. One of my most anticipated games is headlining, which I think is The Outer Worlds 2.
And we're going to find a problem. So you just said it. Outer Worlds 2. And you out here still complaining, dude. What are you talking about, bro? You going as far to say, oh, yeah, my favorite game on Xbox is trending, which I'll be able to play through Game Pass Ultimate. It seems like you're upset that Microsoft doesn't want to indulge themselves into these stupid fanboy antics. Nobody cares, bro, because when you're looking at it from the excitement of a gamer, Microsoft is providing their community with a lot of entertainment, and you people notice. Stop the cat, bro.
But I'm not excited because Xbox has destroyed its own community.
Xbox has destroyed its own community, but yet you said you was looking forward to playing Xbox games. You went as far to say that South of Midnight was a great game in your review, saying they would Avowed, and you got a problem with what Xbox is doing. It seems like you're still upset at the fact that Microsoft doesn't care about exclusivity. This is the definition of a fanboy. You're really that concerned about other people potentially being able to play your games because it doesn't make you feel special and important. Well, guess what, Smooth? If you want any special things going on in your little reality that you got going on, you're still playing the games first before everybody. You're still playing South of Midnight before PS5 in case you're worried that it's going to drop there. Who cares, bro? Like, why don't you just sit back and enjoy a game? This is what y'all don't understand. You even getting Marathon on Xbox, which is a PlayStation game, and you still complain and talk about Xbox ain't got no identity.
And they just brutally destroyed its community, destroyed its fan base, destroyed the morale, the brand, just that excitement.
The brand. So if Microsoft is destroying their brand by putting games on other platforms, which we still haven't seen to the way that you guys are making it, I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I'm just saying we haven't seen it in the same light that you guys keep talking about. South of Midnight is still, I guess, quote unquote, fanboy terms, a console exclusive for right now. It seems like you guys are upset that these games might be going elsewhere. No different than the PlayStation fanboys. You guys act exactly the same. Nobody cares, Smooth, because at the end of the day, you are experiencing these games through a great value, through Game Pass Ultimate, and like you said, they're good games. So what is the problem? I could understand if you didn't like these games. That would be fine to me if you said I don't like the output of games, even though they are pretty good, that I don't like the output of games that Microsoft is putting out. Well, that would even be more of a fair argument. But when you have games like Avoid, Atomfall, which people on PlayStation got to pay full price for, Sniper Elite, another third-party game that you have through one subscription service, Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, which are all of the games. I didn't like all of them, but these are all the games that you enjoyed. South of Midnight, Doom Dark Ages in May. Well, yes, it's going to PlayStation, but you don't have to pay. What are we complaining about? You guys are acting like, oh, well, I don't know why Microsoft acquired Bethesda. It's not like it helped benefited us. What do you mean? It did help benefit you. That's why you don't have to pay for them. That's why you don't have to pay for them. I love how people keep using this APK and this third-party strategy and acting as if it's so much of a negative towards Xbox. When you think about it, if Bethesda and Activision was on their own, you'd be still paying $70 for the same games that they do on PlayStation. You wouldn't be playing it through the subscription service. You wouldn't have all your games tied to the service, which is only helping you save money for other games that you want to purchase. But yep, let's find a problem with that. While the ponies have to pay for Outer Worlds 2, you're getting it day and date through Game Pass Ultimate, and you're still complaining. Because if Bethesda was on its own, it would be $60, whatever how much it costs. $60 there is $60 here. That's what would be going on. Bruh, you know what, man? You like your games to see. You got it. Hit the nail on the coffin. This is what it all comes down to. It all comes down to the false illusions of fanboys thinking that exclusives matter. And it doesn't, bruh.
That culture, that following, that camaraderie, they just destroyed it.
So the fanboy antics, because that's the only thing you can talk about. That's the only culture that you can bring up, which was to be honest with you, was a toxic culture that was only hurting and impacting Microsoft. Because look at it, they're doing far better now. I haven't seen Microsoft put out this many top games. They even revitalized games that I thought would never even be revitalized. All thanks to this new strategy that Microsoft's doing. If anything, Microsoft is pushing more games than everybody. You notice, Nintendo included.
I say that it all started, obviously shortly after the ABK deal. We all heard the story, and then, them doing the just the 4 games to them now just being multi-plat and
see, told you, fanboy.
And we all tried to downplay it, but it can't be downplayed.
So what is PlayStation 5 having Marathon at Xbox? Because that's not a clear downplay. I mean, we can downplay and say Sony's only doing it for live service and subscriptions, but regardless, it's still a PlayStation game dropping on Xbox. So say what you people want. They didn't even want to skip Xbox. Y'all say that the system's failing, but even Sony said, no, we're going to put it there. They probably should have did it with Concord, but I don't think that nothing would have really helped that game anyways. So what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Does this really matter in the end?
It's very impactful. You know what I mean?
How is it impactful? Explain to me how this is impacting. You just said you're acting as if, you know what impacts people? 12 live service subscription games being canceled. You know what impacts people? Sony putting games that their audience don't want. You know what impacts you is by making remasters and remakes to games that are already available through the PS4. You know what impacts you? By raising the price of PlayStation Plus, even though you haven't did any real significant upgrades to the service. That's what impacts the user, okay? What you're talking about is things that most rational adults don't care about. Because at the end of the day, you're playing these games and you're playing them first on Xbox. How is that not the benefit already? Not every game is dropping on PlayStation day and date. And if they do come later, you played them first. What do you complain about, man? Like, this is ridiculous, bro. PlayStation fanboys have conditioned this man to not like Xbox. He's like those brothers that you see out there that just don't like his own people. He's an Uncle Ruckus is what he is to Xbox. He's starting even to look like him, too.
A positive change for them, but it is impactful, and what they're doing is destroying really the culture and they're destroying the community.
No, they're destroying the fanboy. And like I said, Microsoft, matter of fact, hold on. We're giving them a round of applause for that. Thank you, Microsoft, for destroying the fanboy antics that have been destroying this gaming community for so long. Thank you, Microsoft.
As you guys know, they announced the summer showcase taking place this year, but there's no fan fest. And to think that's temporarily, no, it's not. It's permanent. They have no need to do a fan fest. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? They just don't. So that's more of a sign to think to pretty much know for sure. And like Xbox as we know it, it's gone.
I ain't gonna lie, this South of Midnight guy is kind of looking good though. I ain't gonna front.
And them, I'm like, I'll tell you this: I'm not a fan of Nintendo. I can't stand PlayStation.
So what do you complain about then? So I don't. So what do you? So you don't like PlayStation and you don't like Nintendo. So what is your problem with Xbox? It seems like Xbox is the only place you got, brother.
But I can say,
here we go.
I can say I hate Xbox because I'm coming. That's coming from the fandom in me. You know what I mean? You can only
the fanboy, not the fandom. The fanboy.
Hate something you once loved, right? That I mean, the opposite of love is hate, and hate is love. Like they share, the same emotion, just on opposite ends. So
this I don't know. This man, his personality be changing every day, bro. He's like, dog. That's why I don't respect people like this. Just stand on what you believe on. And what's funny, because I said to myself, South of Midnight doesn't look like a good game. But if it's one of those 8 hour games, I might actually have to give this a try. It actually does look kind of fun. I don't know, just from looking at the gameplay, I'm like, damn, the visuals are pretty nice too. I might even try it out now. I wasn't even playing it, but it looks pretty good.
I've said I love Xbox, right? But I think I'm on the verge of hating them because what they have essentially done to the community and to...
Which is what you're saying they've done something to the community without actually giving a proper explanation as to what they've actually done for the community. Like you're just going on these whole run-on sentences without actually explaining what you're talking about, bro.
My interests. You know what I mean? Here's the thing.
You said my interest, but then you just goes as far to say that you was interested in Outer Worlds 2. We already know what this is all about, Smooth. We already know. You're playing both sides of the fence. This is a pony bot. I don't understand, bro. I don't know who you deal with that makes you feel this way about a piece of plastic. But all I sit there and tell people, I'm just playing games, man. I don't care. I mean, I've had people tell me, oh, you should get converted to PC. And you know what I tell them? If that's where it goes to, that's what it'll lead to. But as of right now, I'm just enjoying games, man. I really don't care. So there you go.
All right. If you think about it, right?
Oh, okay.
The interest of the showcase, the hype, it's not there no more. All because they wanted to sell a few copies of Sea of Thieves on the Sony PlayStation.
You exposed yourself. Aha. So it is all about exclusives. It is all about locking games down to you. That's what it's always been about with fanboys. Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony, you guys are all the same. And I'm going to sit there and tell you that nobody cares. You guys act like you're for the gamers, but you're not. You guys are a fan of the plastic. You're not a fan of the games that you're playing.
It's not. It's just like the community is destroyed. There's no more fan fests. It's even so bad when you think about this. Remember, like, here's the thing, right? When Xbox acquired, Bethesda, we were all hyped. I was super hyped. But the thing is, the hype was met with like immediate satisfaction, gratification. They did a batch of games in Game Pass. They did a batch of games that was FPS boost and all this other stuff.
And you have a problem with this? This sounds like all positives. I fail to see the negatives of why you hate Microsoft so much.
They just kept doing like a batch of stuff that just within. They did 2 updates. One initially after they closed the deal on Bethesda, gather around TV or like their computer to watch like a freaking EA show or
bro. Those days is over, bro. Not even a Fortnite gamer. You think a Fortnite gamer actually follows the Game Awards? And what's even more funny, their game it might get nominated, but it never wins. They don't care. They're still playing their game regardless. You think that matters to them? You think that a company cares about a game award? They care about the people playing it and the people buying their game. That's the most important aspect. You guys have been blinded by nostalgia and blinded to the point of what you thought what made gaming make you feel better. Okay, and I like how we have a social service book there just for this dude's social problem. Because what is this man doing, bro?
Ubisoft showcase or anything. They gather around to watch these Nintendo showcases. They gather around to watch these PlayStation showcases. The only multi-plat showcase that anyone is going to be amped about is going to be like a Grand Theft Auto, because that's like a once in a generation sort of like type of thing. So everybody's tuning in. But for Xbox, it's like, no, it's just like the hype goes really away.
No, because they have the Sega treatment. It doesn't matter what they do, they're going to get the hate regardless. And real gamers are starting to see through it. It is what it is, bro. Xbox is going to get hated regardless. It's fine. Accept that. Nobody has to love Xbox the same way they love PlayStation. Because most PlayStation gamers don't even know why they love PlayStation. Most of it's due to nostalgia. Most is due to the fact that that was their first game console. It could be as simple as that, bro. And you're making it way more complicated than what it has to be.
And it's all because of how they're treating my dog won't shut up. I hate that. In the middle of a video that I'm not going to re-record. But,
yeah, your dog's telling you to shut up and put some food in my bowl.
What they're doing
He's so
is
mad
just
at his
really
dog.
a disservice to the fan base. And
really, it was such a huge disservice to the fan base that we played Avowed. We got Sniper Elite Resistance, Stalker 2, Indiana Jones to the Game Pass. It's such a disservice that we could play these Xbox to a subscription service that we was paying for anyway, while ponies have to pay $70 on top of paying my Sony money to play Sea of Thieves when you could just play it through one service, as well as having access to all the latest and greatest third-party and first-party games. Even Call of Duty even. And we're going to act as if that's a bad thing.
And it's always going to hurt.
It hurts.
It's always going to hurt because, for example, Indiana Jones advertisements is taking place. Oh my God, my dog. Damn.
Yeah, feed me my food. Look at this food. I want my food, goddamn. Look at that. Y'all don't take care of your cats, and y'all don't even take care of feed your damn dog, man. See what your dog want.
These Indiana Jones advertisements taking place in people.
I am Xbox, the big game dog.
Are going nuts because it's native 4K on a PS5 Pro. You know, mind you, a $700 console, and they're doing all this advertisement stuff. And personally, I don't care. I played Indiana Jones at native 4K on PC. And like I said, the game, I played on Xbox as well, and the game looks both. Like, I didn't have like a preferred way to play. I thought if it's satisfying on console, then that's where I don't mind playing the game.
This man is so indecisive, bro, about his choices.
In their videos, there's no interest. We don't care about rumors. We don't care about this. We're in a market that's going to be literally dominated by PlayStation and Nintendo.
What do you mean? What is PlayStation dominating? Marathon is more likely going to fail. Explain to me where PlayStation is dominating. Days Gone remaster, Until Dawn remake. Sony don't even got a roadmap because they don't even know what games they got coming out, man. And you want to sit there and talk about, like, bro, but you just sit there and say, I don't like PlayStation. So how is PlayStation winning for you as a consumer? If you like what Xbox is doing, and you like that the games that they're offering, that means you're winning as a consumer. You're looking at it from a business perspective, and gamers are looking at it from the games. But even then, Sony ain't really making that much money off their titles. Ain't nobody buying them.
And they're both picked the best time to initiate their horrible practices. And PlayStation releasing The Last of Us for the 18th time at $110. You got Nintendo releasing $90 games and $80 games.
So explain to me how that's winning. Every time you talk about Xbox, it sounds positive. Every time you talk about those companies, it sounds negative. Now, those are reasons that are actually legitimate reasons as to why people would have a problem with them. But it's like you want to have a problem with Xbox even though there's no problem here. You know, it's like that crazy ex-girlfriend that wants to fight about something even though there's nothing wrong going on in the relationship because she's probably seeing another man.
For expensive-ass games with or without tariffs being a factor.
These all negatives.
And then here you have Xbox, who has a formidable console, a powerful console.
The problem is you want people to like Xbox the same way you do. That's like me saying, listen, man, I like Sega. I don't care if you like it. I know what I like. I like Shining Force 3, and Panzer Dragoon Saga and Skies of Arcadia is far better than Final Fantasy VII. Now, if you try to talk to somebody and they will sit there and tell you that you're wrong, but most of them never played those games. I don't care if you didn't play those games. I know what good games. I played Final Fantasy VII and I played Skies of Arcadia, Shining Force 3, Dragon Force. I played these games. Panzer Dragoon Saga. I played these games. And I'm saying and telling you from a perspective of what I played, those games in Shining the Holy Ark are far better than what you got with Final Fantasy VII. Now, most people won't even agree with that because they never play those games. You get what I'm saying? I don't care if you never played them. You know, but these are the same people that have these ignorant takes in this community about things that they either have no interest in or don't even play games anyway.
That's reasonably priced. Their games are reasonably priced. They also have a game subscription, and they feel like, hey, you know what? Time to wave the white flag. We're not going to.
You want Xbox to be like PlayStation, and like I said, only time will tell. But as of right now, no.
This is the most obvious time to do some damage, but no, they suck.
The damage is already done. Microsoft has already secured their success by Bethesda and Activision. They already secured their success. PlayStation has lost the value. You can say whatever you want about the hardware, but Sony has lost the value of their own intellectual IPs. Now Nintendo, they have it. Microsoft even, they have it. People do respect their game. That's why they buy Call of Duty every year. That's why they buy these games every year, because they respect the IP. Sony don't have any game up to the level of an Elder Scrolls 6. You know this. Stop the cap. Sony don't even got a multiplayer game on the level of Halo and Gears E-Day. Stop the cap. You already know. We don't even got to go there. Sony can't even compete with Nintendo with online offerings, and you act like Xbox is doing worse than them. You know, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. This dude has completely lost it. He's on something, man. I don't know what they be giving him in the WWP, but clearly it's something that we all should stay away from, G. Take care. Peace out.